your true self means, sounds like, and looks like. Welcome to the very first episode of Brave Steps Forward. I'm your host, Carlin E. Tapia, coach, speaker, educator, and certified practitioner. I'll put more info of my work and what I do in the show notes. Feel free to contact us. My team would love to schedule a guest on my podcast. I have exciting plans for this, and I am ready to serve you. This podcast is designed to help you break free from fear or toxic stress and grow into the most confident, empowered version of yourself. If you're feeling stuck, uncertain, or overwhelmed, you've come to the right place. Hey, you're isolated because you don't know that you can have friends. You just don't know your potential. The hardest thing as a professional, as a coach, that I see when I'm working with people is that they have so much potential and yet they can't see it. And so I love coming alongside of you, if this is you, because honestly, if you've never had someone come alongside of you with these skills of helping you realize your potential and what your strengths are and your gifts and what you're meant to be doing in life, then obviously you can't do it alone. For me, in my story, I didn't do it alone. I had a lot of leadership. I still have leadership, but now it's on different areas of my life. You need to know who you are. And so I know you're isolated and it's scary to be vulnerable, but think about it. If you can imagine having that on your calendar every week where you get to meet with your coach, which would be me right now, get me as I am affordable and as I have time. I won't be affordable and have a lot of time in a couple of months, honestly. And I want you to imagine that. Imagine you just sitting, being able to have that consistency of being listened to where your voice can be heard, things that you've never shared with people because you're tired of people judging you or misinterpreting you. Imagine just having that space, that safe space, that dedicated person to help you grow. Because if she doesn't help you get results, then why is she doing this, right? So imagine that there's a commitment, there's an agreement of us together working towards your goals. Wouldn't that be just amazing? That you can rely on that you can have some relief that you're not doing it alone, that you don't have to figure it out alone, that you have someone leading you. I mean, I know that you do want that, and that's why you're probably watching this. And so I just want to walk you through my model for a bit. I'm going to use the board. This is the model that I use. Okay. First, in order to have a foundation, you need to discover your identity. I help you do that. You see, it's different when you're in a conference and they're trying to help you, like a general public doing it. Like everyone needs attention. Everyone needs a different type of training or different material to go through. And so this is curated and personalized for you. So I walk you through your identity, learning who you are. That's a big question for some people. When people ask me, I know how to answer that. I know who I am. The next thing, and these are the 3 pillars, and then I have sub pillars here, but I won't teach you that until you join the program and you contact me, okay? Identity, it'll just overwhelm you. I'm not holding anything back from you, I promise. Then once you start here, you go into planning. You plan, you try things out, and I'm there to hold your hand because you are in a testing mode. You're testing what works for you. You start creating your life. You start setting boundaries. You start making friends. You start like whatever your goals are, everybody's different. So this is I really love this part because I just like seeing people come back to me and really share with me what they've experienced. I like to see your faces glow up. I like to see how much you learned about yourself. I just start seeing a person that really is stepping into their purpose instead of society or their job or being a mom or being a dad is telling them what to do and who to be. And so this is my favorite part. Then, so it goes like this clockwise. This is the implementation part. This is where you take action and making changes. And you take action. You basically start dying to your old self. And you need support when you're going through that phase because it's beautiful to make changes. And notice I'm saying and it also has its transition moment. Transitions are hard. Transitions are not people's favorite thing to do. And so that is where you transition and you need a plan to be able to maintain and sustain that new life, that new person that you've become, that you've evolved. And so it takes planning, it takes your commitment, it takes you realizing how beautiful it feels. We go into emotions like, what is the difference? How do you feel in your body? Are you still tired or are you ignited? My company's name is Life Ignited because everything I do is to lift people up and to help them ignite their life. I come alongside of you, I facilitate, but you're doing the hard work and you're doing all the leg lifting. I think that's how people say it. So I encourage you to stop waiting, stop thinking about it, take action. It's not going to get better. You're only delaying results. So I truly, truly, truly hope to see you on a call. This is a fabulous process that I live by, and I can't wait to share it with you. And that's it. That's a wrap, you guys. Thank you so much for being here today and for giving me the privilege to speak over your life and for you receiving the gift of growth. Remember, every step you take forward, no matter how small or big, you are truly moving forward to who you're truly meant to be. Embrace the journey because the process of becoming is just as powerful as the destination. And in today's episode, if something sparked in you, a question, anything, a goal, an idea, hold on to that. Let it be the nudge you need to take brave steps forward toward the life that's calling you. You don't have to have it all figured out to start. You just need to take that next step. And I'll be here cheering you on every step of the way. Until next time, keep going. Hey, and do me a favor, share this episode with one friend or on social media. Let's bring more awareness to taking brave steps forward together. And that's it. that's a wrap, you guys. Thank you so much for being here today and for giving me the privilege to speak over your life and for you receiving the gift of growth. Remember, every step you take forward, no matter how small or big, you are truly moving forward to who you're truly meant to be. Embrace the journey because the process of becoming is just as powerful as the destination. And in today's episode, if something sparked in you, a question, anything, a goal, an idea, hold on to that. Let it be the nudge you need to take brave steps forward toward the life that's calling you. You don't have to have it all figured out to start. You just need to take that next step. And I'll be here cheering you on every step of the way. Until next time, keep going. Hey, and do me a favor, share this episode with one friend or on social media. Let's bring more awareness to taking brave steps forward together. Hi, Sharon. Thank you so much for being a special guest on my podcast. I just wanted to introduce you to my audience. Can you tell me a little bit more about you and who you are?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me here. I thoroughly enjoy these spaces and it's a privilege to be here. I live in Chicago area currently, but I'm going to be moving to Colorado. I have 3 amazing adult children and an amazing little grandson. My hubby and I have been married for 28 years, and in the work that I'm doing right now, I am a life story coach. I help people to understand how their life's experiences and all the things that have impacted them, how they affect them in both their spiritual, their emotional, their mental, their physical ways. So it is a really fun space to help people get to know themselves. And I love to work with the niche of small businesses because the ripple effect in that space is so big. That's in a nutshell.
I love it. So it's like self-discovery work.
Yes, it is. I find that the person that we know the least is actually ourselves. And so when we can spend some time getting to know who we are and understand the story of our lives, there is just so much more freedom that we have within who we are, our family, and then ultimately the work that we have been given to do.
Yes, I totally agree with you. I am a social work in my background. So we are trained to really look at the culture that shaped the person, the systems, the language, the upbringing. So I love that. Do you do this in group setting or one-on-one?
I actually do this in all of that. So a lot of people will start one-on-one because to share your story initially, it's a very interesting space. I can work with anybody on any spectrum of that story, whether that's just this surface level stuff that people are comfortable with, or then we start digging a little bit deeper into the story and the impact. So a lot of people start in an individual, but I also work with groups. And actually my ultimate is to work within those small businesses and with the owners to work with their team and work individually with the team and then get everybody to the same table and do the group, because there's so much healing that happens when we sit down in a group and we hear each other's stories. It is just fascinating. We learn so much from each other.
How would that work with someone like myself I have 2 people who help me that are outside of the US, and they do share similar passions as me, but they're fairly new. And so I don't know if they have that experience of that self-awareness work that maybe I would.
Yeah.
So what would you like? How would you convince the whole team to be on board?
It's actually not about convincing. It's about, especially when you're working with a business, the person who owns the business, what team dynamics do they want? And do they want to increase the energy within the team? Do they want to decrease conflict so that they can increase conflict resolution? Do they want to increase proficiency and efficiency and productivity within their team? So when I'm working with the owner, right, I'm listening and hearing what they want. I share what I do within that space. And it really hasn't been a convincing space because I've had people need and want so much of what I just said. And if I'm working especially with the owner, a lot of times then what they will do is they will offer life story coaching to their people. And we can do that in one of two ways, obviously, right? You can either, as an owner, you can pay for that, which I've had many, many businesses doing. It is so beautiful to see how these owners have just cared for their people and have provided a space for that. And you can also offer it to them saying, hey, I would like for you to do this. And you just tell them about it, and they can choose to do that on their own and under terms if they want to. The beautiful thing that I have found is I have worked with people who have never done any personal development work at all the way up to people who have worked years and years and years, spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And both people and everyone in between have seen significant benefit from it because it's about who they are and it's about their own story. And we all need to be able to share those spaces, but often just don't have the places to do that. So it's been a fun place to come in and not have to convince, but just to ask the questions and find out what they're looking for and see if I'm a good fit for that space.
That makes sense. Have you heard of, is this a life plan? Are you a life plan facilitator at all?
Nope. I work strictly with the story. So I have a 6-week program, and you can pick from 4 different topics, 4 different categories, and you have 1 6-week on that one. You can do as many of those as you want. And then I have a follow-up program that comes after that. That's a 6-month program to really implement. At the end of that 6-week, I will give a personal plan for that individual, that group, whatever. And well, actually every individual, even if you're in a group, gets that. And that is meant to just open some doors. We're creating freedom, and we're looking for healing within our lives so that the purpose that we're living is actually more full, right? We come to more fullness within that place. And that personal plan that they leave with will help to do that if they stick with those things.
That's great. Do you have anybody that needs extra care after that they realize, oh, I need to go see a therapist?
Yes, and that's part of the beauty of being able to hear somebody's story allows me to hear things that they might not otherwise say. And there's very often in that plan that I'm giving people as they go with, I'm saying, I highly recommend because of X, Y, or Z that you go see, this therapist, or you go see this psychiatrist, or you go even within the physical realm, right? Chiropractor, personal trainer. It's a beautiful thing. So then I create a circle of referrals that I can then move to.
Drawing this out, I'm running.
Cool. Yeah, I would love to share just a little bit of what I do. And, it comes to your mind, you can refer to me at all, but I specialize in trauma from sexual abuse. And so that would be PTSD, ADHD, anxiety, toxic stress. It doesn't necessarily have to stem from that trauma. Some people can have that because of religious trauma. That's another area where I specialize because I went through it myself. And also with the education, it gave me more tools to really be able to help people. And so that's, in a nutshell, that's what I do. To simplify it and not to sound so clinical, my message to the world is that I help people overcome fear, and when they're feeling stuck and like they have no purpose. And so that's where I come in and start helping them dig in deeper to be able to ignite their life. Like my business, it's called Life Ignited. So yeah, that's a little bit about me and what I do. I love doing group work because people learn from each other, and I love giving them a space so that they can start forming community. A lot of people with these struggles tend to isolate themselves and not think that they're not good enough, and all of those things. And so that's why I come like a mama bear and just like, all right, let's just all be real, and let's all practice kindness to one another and to oneself. And so I also add the spiritual aspect. If everyone's a believer, I incorporate scripture. And so if not, then they just end up hearing about God, and that's also great too. So yeah, I just felt like I needed to share that.
No, I love that so much because it's so true. The more we can form the community, because we do with trauma and all that stuff, we isolate. But to create the groups, it's just such a sweet place for people to be. So I thank you for sharing that to me. I really love hearing what you do, and I will make sure that just taking some notes in on that, because we need to work in on that. And when within our work we get to share God, it's just amazing, isn't it? We get to share that story.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people, if we think about it, they're working long hours, the average American worker, and they're most likely not going to go ask for group therapy or individual therapy. It's not really at the top of their priority list. And so that's why I love just being so informal and very just non-clinical in how I present myself on social media, and just start there, building a relationship. And if that's your desire to work with me, fine. And if not, that's okay too. So, yeah.
Amen. It's a beautiful place. How long have you been doing what you're doing?
2 years. And then I'm moving towards just getting people in the corporate world, because they're also very tired all the time. And I see people that are close to me. I don't want to name names, but just how burnt out they can get, and they still need to work. But I really offer sessions for them too, and I think they enjoy it. To some people that I have offered my services, because they already have a lot of knowledge, they're in the corporate world, they have been around different people, and so now they are hiring me so they can actually implement the tools that they've heard, and especially the somatic tools that I do, which just means body work to release stress. Oh, they enjoy that. I'm their accountability person. We all need accountability partners, and sometimes we just have to pay for it, because when we invest, we show up.
Yeah, we absolutely have to have that accountability. It's important on so many spectrums, and so many people don't have the community within their friend group or their families. They don't have the relational connections, which is sad, because that's actually where it should be coming from. But that's been a broken, so we need to be in those space, and it's a broken system, unfortunately, because God wants those families and that friend base to really be those places that we're safe and we're seen. And a lot of people don't have that. So like what you're doing, what I'm doing, creating a safe space for people to share their story, to share what is going on, and to be in a community where they can learn, they can grow, they can be vibrant within that, and then give the gift of who they are back out into the world.
Yeah. Do you have any recorded content or recorded mini course that I can share with people?
I don't have any of that recorded. That is something I'm moving towards, but I do have an asset that I had created this past year that just gives a little snippet of what I'm doing and gives my contact information. I'd be happy to share that with you.
Okay. I'm just thinking about my event. I'm launching an event in January 21st and 22nd. And so I could, share that with people.
Okay. Let me know a little bit about what you would like, because if there's something that I could record that would be helpful for you, I can do that in a heartbeat.
Okay. Sounds good. And that's it. That's a wrap, you guys. Thank you so much for being here today, and for giving me the privilege to speak over your life, and for you receiving the gift of growth. Remember, every step you take forward, no matter how small or big, you are truly moving forward to who you're truly meant to be. Embrace the journey, because the process of becoming is just as powerful as the destination. And in today's episode, if something sparked in you, a question, anything, a goal, an idea, hold on to that. Let it be the nudge you need to take brave steps forward toward the life that's calling you. You don't have to have it all figured out to start. You just need to take that next step. And I'll be here cheering you on every step of the way. Until next time, keep going. Hey, and do me a favor, share this episode with one friend or on social media. Let's bring more awareness to taking brave steps forward together.